that shit was eating me up.
That's a fact. I like to give proof to what I'm saying instead of just because I know y'all are like, well, all he said was XY chromosome. He ain't even how a black woman impregnate herself. Well, I'm gonna tell you how the black woman impregnated herself, and then I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna further elaborate before I get into this bill on why you're so destructive. Look up parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis. Hit your voice app. See my phone? Hit your Google and say parthenogenesis definition, and it will tell you. Long story short, when an organism can fertilize or impregnate itself without the help of a male counterpart. Now, I know a lot of people like to get fancy and say, well, it says that mammals can't do it. You don't study genetics or biology because you would know that we're not mammals. We have reptilian DNA. This is why the first part of our brain right here is called the reptilia. And guess what the first layer of your brain deals with? Your physical self. This is why you have webbed hands. This is why when you're in the womb, you look like a little tadpole. This is why when the woman is pregnant, she has what? Eggs. I don't know no mammal that got eggs. Now, it might be one now that they made in a lab, or maybe I didn't do the knowledge. But to right now, 22 years of physically manifesting myself within this physical shell, I never seen no mammal with no eggs. So, do the knowledge. The black woman, what happened was, in the bone marrow of the black woman, she has lost this ability because her X chromosome is not as strong as potential anymore. So she has lost this ability. So don't try to get smart and say, well, when I see a woman, I'm going to do it. Because that is no longer a reality anymore. The reality now is that she doesn't have that ability unless we start genetically strengthening ourselves. But that's another topic. Now getting back on,
we need feminine energy in the world. That's what it is.
Facts. Now getting back on point.
It's out of balance with too masculine.
Facts. Now what happens is the black woman was able to produce semen in her bone marrow and release this semen out of what you call her Bartholin glands through what you call the Bartholin duct. Now the Bartholin gland is two small pea-shaped, pea-sized organs on each side of the woman's vagina, and you barely can see them because they are underneath the layer of the skin of the vagina. But if you feel around, you can feel them. They feel like little bumps. Now those Bartholin glands secrete liquid, fluid, out of what you call the Bartholin duct directly into the chute of the vagina. And this is how a woman's vagina now gets wet. She don't need your help to get wet. So now picture her getting wet. At one point in time, this moisture contained semen. And when she got wet, she impregnated herself and gave birth. And this was going down up until the fact our ancestors came down here and due to genetic engineering, we were created to be her bodyguard. And now when you look at the Caucasian, by him taking your mind away, and this is where I'm finna go into any creative, put this in your mental lab. The creation is always in the nature of the creator. And I'm finna go into that. Now we were created to be the bodyguards of the black woman. Why? Me using my divine intellect, I would like to say maybe because the ancestors knew they was finna take a 3,600 year leave and they didn't want to leave God alone. So they left God with bodyguards. Why does this make sense? Because the Caucasian does what? He takes the black man out the picture. Why? Because it leaves the black woman open season. And what do he do with the black woman? He crush her mentally. He don't crush her physically. Even in slavery. Somebody like me, I was killed on a boat. I didn't even make it. I was killed on a boat. They was making an example of me on a beach shore of Africa before I even got to the Atlantic Ocean. So what they did was they take us out the picture. They put us in jail, or they give us a patrilineal mentality to make us separate ourselves from our woman. And when you got all these single mothers or even Section 8 or welfare, what do they tell the black woman? You can have this, but it can't be no man in your house. So what the white man does is he tells the black woman, be independent. Be independent of your bodyguard. You don't need no black man. I'll be your man. I'll be your imaginary man. I'm gonna give you a house for free, Section 8. I'm gonna feed you food stamps, WIC checks for your child. But all in return for me being your man, he can't be your man. Exactly. So what the white man does is he uses his patrilineal system to get us to not only get out the picture, but to believe it's right for us to be out the picture. Because when you're not in your baby mother life, you don't say, damn. Most black men don't say, damn, well, this is God. Let me be in her life for God. Even if we don't get along, let me form her. Nope. Most black men just be like, man, fuck that bitch. I don't know why I ever fuck that bitch. I can't stand that bitch. She got me on child support. This, that, and the third. So what you doing is you are sharing the same mentality as the Caucasian. Now, how does this tie into the creation is in the nature of the creator? Because let's look at African creations versus Caucasian creations. A pyramid. A pyramid was like a giant power plant. But even though it supplied electricity to the entire ancient civilization known as Kemet, Ethiopia, all in that region, even though it supplied electrical energy to that entire land, guess what it didn't do? It didn't pollute not one natural organic organism. Why? Because the creator was the black man who is natural, God. So anything we create is going to be in sync with nature. So when you go to the Caucasian, damn, well, when he create giant electrical conductors, he pollute the whole motherfucking block. I'm in New York right now. This is my first time. I'm driving. I'm scared of smoke demon about to come out the ground. There's smoke coming out the ground, electricity everywhere. So the Caucasian takes our science, but since he's not supposed to have it, when he creates, since he is unnatural, everything he creates does not cater to nature. Just like the guy said, there was no such thing as an organic fruit. The Caucasian was grafted from us. So when you say it's not about black and white, it's exactly about black and white. Because when a white man creates something, he's unnatural, so his creation will be in the favor of nature. So now with that being said, we are organic fruit. He's a GMO. Wasn't no damn GMOs until the GMO humanoid being was walking the motherfucking planet. So how do you let the GMO, the genetically modified organism, because if you want to say, oh, the white man not a GMO, we know that cells we know that atoms create molecules, molecules create cells, cells create tissues, tissues create organs, organs create organisms. So we know that the white man himself is an organism just like us. He's just the most unnatural organism. He's like when you get a cut and you don't bandage it or tend to it right and you get a fungus. That's him. And you letting the fungus now replace your beautiful skin. So with that being said, black man, you share the mentality with the genetically manufactured organism on the planet Earth. I hope you're happy for yourself.